So that shiny new game just came out, Dune Awakening, and you want to know if it's worth your time, right? Well, let's take a look at the game for some first impressions. Keep in mind this is not a full review, this is a quick look at the game. I played the game for 4 hours, so I'll show some footage of the game while describing it and giving a few thoughts on it. First thing you do is customize your character, and there was a good bit of customizing that you can do with the sliders. So much so that I was kind of bored with it and just went through it quickly to get it over with. You'll then pick your home world, previous job, and your class. There's only a few options for each choice, but they each have their own starting abilities. There is a story in this game, but I'm 4 hours in and it's pretty light so far. The primary thing I've been doing is researching, gathering materials, and building. I have done a few contract missions. I went and got some materials, brought them back to another place, and then the contract was complete. The first main thing I did in the game was begin making my own base. And once I did that, I was just following along with what it said to do next. Gather this material, research that, build this, and then basically it gets repeated the whole time. There's a lot of things to build and research in this game, and I'll just list out a few of the things I've built so far. Storage containers, weapons like melee or guns, clothing that has different stats, fabricator, blood purifier, generator, and that's just to name a few. There's more things that I've made, and still a lot more to unlock. The fabricator I built, I used to make basically all of my smaller items and parts, like weapons, clothing, sandbike parts, and power packs, just to name a few. To gather materials in the world, you'll be using different kinds of cutters. So far I have the improved cut array, and I use that to mine stone, copper, and scrap metal. I did just unlock a new cut array that mines iron, but I haven't built that yet. Some things can just be picked up off the ground too. There are also a lot of containers that you can find that have various parts and crafting items in them, and AIs that you kill, a lot of their bodies will have items too. So besides the extensive amount of things to build, there's also researching, which is how you spend the research points that you get. Once researched, then you can build it. There's a whole lot of items to be researched. Now let's talk combat. There are random AIs scattered around that will attack you on sight, but to be honest, every single battle that I've been in has been incredibly easy for me. I haven't died in this game yet. At the beginning, when I picked my class, I chose the Swordmaster one. That gave me an ability to charge at someone and then knee them, and so far that's basically a one-hit kill. Besides that, I crafted a knife, and I had a pistol and automatic weapon I made too. The knives can do light attacks, heavy attacks, and also parry other enemies with melee weapons. Some enemies have energy shields, and using the heavy attack with my knife dealt with that. I've barely touched the guns. They haven't been needed. I can win every combat scenario with just a knife and my knee ability. The guns are there if you want it though. I might end up needing the guns later on. Then there's the sandworms. You'll see them kicking up sand as they swim underneath, and you'll see them pop out of the sand too. It's pretty cool. They can sense your vibrations in the sand, except when you're near the rocks. If you're near the rocks, they can't sense you. It only happens on open sand, so I had to go in a more roundabout path instead of going straight to my objective, as I didn't want to run over open sand and have the worms coming after me. Also at night, there are ships in the air with spotlights. I have no idea what happens when they spot you, as it's pretty easy to just walk by them. Now as to traveling, for 4 hours I was on foot running everywhere. I only just built the sand bike, and I gave it a small test drive. It has parts that will wear down over time, and if you leave it outside, it'll get ruined, because there's also sandstorms. So I put big doors on my base so I can park it in there. I also built storage into it so I can hold more items if need be. I know you can also get those ornithopters too, which are those helicopters with the bug-looking wings, but I don't know how far into the game you'll need to be to unlock those. Based on what class you chose, you can also upgrade your character skills. So far I've done things like give myself more melee damage, more stamina recovery, and become dehydrated less often. As you're running around the desert, you'll need to keep an eye on your water meter. I'm unsure if you die or not when you're dehydrated for a long time, as staying hydrated has been pretty easy. There are some plants scattered around that you can just drink from, but the primary way to get water is by killing the AIs and taking their blood from them. You could then drink the blood directly, or bring it back to your base to the blood purifier that you built so that you can get more water from it. It's pretty easy to stay stocked up on blood. As for the map, I don't have all of it unlocked yet. I've only spent my whole time on the bottom right of the map, as I've yet to need to go anywhere else. But if I look at the full map online, it looks to be a decently sized square map, and I'm sure I'll need to go to the other areas as I continue doing more missions. Finally, let's talk about other online players. I've seen a lot of other players randomly running about doing their own thing. As it turns out, there are PvP zones, and everywhere else is PvE. I have no idea where those zones are. I'm still in the beginning area of the game, but apparently there's not too many PvP zones, and the ones that do exist can mostly be avoided. It seems the game is mainly PvE. Graphically, the game looks pretty good. The performance was okay, but a little shaky. My biggest issue with the performance was that it likes to dip to low FPS kinda often. I'd say overall it was okay and doable to play, but every now and then I got a sudden stutter, and it was a little distracting and annoying. Also, I'm unsure if this is due to my graphic settings or not, but I had random flickering textures too. I'd be running across the sand and rocks, everything looks fine, then for a split second there's a giant stretching texture across the screen, then it goes back to normal. It flickered like that every now now and then. Again, those two things aren't game breaking, but you do notice them. I'd say the game overall feels fine to me to play. If you like MMOs or crafting survival games, this one fits right into the rest of them, but it is Dune, and I do like the Dune movies, so to me it's a little cooler than the rest of the games like this. I'd say I like this game. It's not too bad, though that's my personal opinion. Whether or not this is your type of game, I'll see you on the next one.